Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the For Love of Drag podcast. My name is Astala Vista.
And I'm Jimmy Boone.
And we're going to be your hostesses with the mostesses. Now, today we are going to be talking about the drag phenomenon that took over the world, is still taking over the world, is the reason so many new drag queens and kings have started doing drag, RuPaul's Drag Race, everybody. But before we dive into that, which we've got a lot to dive into, let's chit-chat about last week's episode, Jimmy. My first podcast ever.
I know. I had so much fun filming our first episode of For the Love of
Drag. I had a blast. Like I said, I've never really listened to a podcast before, let alone filming a podcast. But
Talk about jumping right in.
I loved it. It was like a therapy session for yourself.
Right.
You kind of just get to like go out, say whatever you're feeling, and it gets recorded on camera.
And it's fun to reminisce and talk about our past and what we did and everything like that. It
really is. You look back and you're like, oh my God, that was that long ago? It's crazy.
We're getting old, girl. We're getting
old. Well, I feel it, honey. I feel it.
So if you did not get a chance to tune into the For the Love of Drag podcast last week, we talked about how me and Astala met. We talked about how Astala got her start in drag, as well as the creation of our lovely company, Drag Queen Entertainment. So if you want to learn more about that, tune into our last week's episode, For the Love of Drag Pod, episode 1, For the Love of Drag Queen Entertainment. Now, Astala, you mentioned we are talking about the phenomenon that is RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, we even went over a few things last week talking about our first drag show. Yep. The first one was our RuPaul's Drag Race Girl 100%. Show, so go check that out in episode 1. But today, let's dive into what RuPaul's Drag Race is. Let's explain it to the people at home that don't know what RuPaul's Drag Race is, because let's be real, Jimmy, we do a lot of drag shows. Yeah. A lot of the drag shows we do are at straight venues, or they're not at, gay bars. Sure. And every time I ask, who in here watches RuPaul's Drag Race? It's only about half the audience. Sometimes I ask who hasn't watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and about half the audience also raises their hand. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that do go to drag shows but have never watched RuPaul. So if you have never watched RuPaul's Drag Race before, basically each season is about 12 to 16 queens. They're all competing for anywhere from like $100,000 to $200,000, depending on which season you're watching. I mean, if you're watching season 1, I think they're only competing for like $10,000, girl. Okay,
she's come a long way.
She's come a long way. But basically, these queens, they have to compete in a mini challenge, then they have to do a maxi challenge followed by a runway challenge. So all those scores get added up, and then the bottom 2 contestants from that episode have to lip sync for their life. At the end of the episode, one of those queens will go home, the other one stays. And that's pretty much how each episode works until
12 times for the whole season, and then there's eventually a finale with like 3 to 4 of the finalists.
And let's say they've added lots of twists throughout the season. Not every single episode's the same, or every single season. Some seasons there's this many queens. Some seasons there's a 3-way lip sync at the end. Like all sorts of things do change, but
yeah. And I think we're at season 16, I think, just finished airing,
I think we just finished season 16.
Finished filming season 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that should come out early 2025.
And that's just the U.S. seasons we're talking about, too. So let's also talk about that as well. In addition to 17 U.S. seasons, there is pretty much a season of RuPaul's Drag Race for just about every country now. Now, when I say every country, I don't really mean every country. But Jimmy, I think, has some statistics where he can tell you where it is a phenomenon.
It might as well be every country. And if it's not, I'm sure there are kind of plans for it to become said countries. So RuPaul's Drag Race premiered in 2009 on the Logo Network. It was like an LGBTQ network. I think it still exists, but it's not as big as it used to be when Drag Race was on it.
And let me tell you, before you even go any further, Logo Network was it was a queer network. I mean, it was literally, you were getting gay inside jokes on there. All the networks and all the shows were gay. There was a show called The Big Gay Sketch Show, which was very similar to SNL, but like a queer version. It was my favorite channel in the world.
It was like reruns of Golden Girls and Will and Grace all the time, and then Drag Race pretty much. Yep. So since 2009, they have held 16 regular seasons, 9 All-Stars seasons, and almost 30 international franchises. So I think that means roughly 30 countries are participating in some form of Drag Race. They launched the careers of over 200 contestants from the flagship series, the U.S. series, with over 80 of those people returning for All-Star seasons, and then close to 400 queens on international seasons.
Wow.
And then I'm a sucker for an award show, so Drag Race was nominated for approximately 70 Emmy Awards, Primetime Emmy Awards, and won 27 of them. So to me, that's a really good proportion right there.
Yeah, I mean, they are doing it, honey. Let me say, these queens are bringing the packages now. I mean, they are getting these Emmys on these queens' backs. They are literally bringing costumes that are next level. It is insane.
I know. I hear rumors of some of the people spending anywhere from 60 to 80, $100,000+ on their costumes that they're bringing.
Yep. I mean, now I did see for All Stars this past season, they actually did get a little bit of a budget for the costumes because they're just so elevated anymore. It's insane. But
I heard there as well, and it's nice to see that they're getting that kind of kickback for all the effort that they are really putting in for the show.
Yes.
Without the queens, the show would not be
100%.
what it is at all today. So besides it being a phenomenal drag show, we kind of touched on this a little bit last week. Drag Race was kind of our introduction to drag, more or less.
1,000%.
I think it's safe to say if it wasn't for RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't think we would be sitting here today doing a podcast talking about Drag Race or drag in general. And we mentioned our first drag show that we ever went to was one of the RuPaul's Drag Race events. It was a season 6 cast party. That was a lot of fun. That kind of changed our minds on drag a lot. So it has a cultural phenomenon on just about everybody that gets the opportunity to watch it, and I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race has brought drag to new places that it might not have ever went before if it wasn't for RuPaul. So regardless if you love the show, hate the show, or have never seen the show, you have to give it up to RuPaul for literally taking drag, elevating it to new heights. I mean, the places and the things that I do shows now, I'm just like, I can't, this is crazy. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
amazing.
How am I here right now? And I'm like, because Drag Race has just taken it off and sent us into places that could have never been before.
Yeah, it was just a few months ago you were judging a bean cook-off contest
at some
a college.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's a direct correlation to Drag Race over the years of just exposing drag to other people and giving people ideas of what to do in drag. So I think that's really cool. So Drag Race, obviously, I think I said there's 16 seasons. Are you able to pick your favorite season out of those 16? Is there one that you could just highlight as your favorite?
All right, girl, that is a toughie. All right, let's think about this. I'd say my favorite season of them all would have to be season number 5, and I'd say just because my favorite drag queen in the world was on that season, Alaska. I am obsessed. I will always be obsessed. She just is so unique and crazy, but polished, but also was a mess. Like she just gave you everything. You got so much from Alaska. Just for that alone, I would say season number 5 would be my favorite. If I had to pick a season for somebody to start watching, just to like get into the show, I would say season 4 is a really good one to start. Season 5 also is really good. Honestly, season 4, 5, 6, or 7 is when the show definitely had more of a budget and the show was still very queer friendly. I will say the further the show goes on, once it started switching networks, going to MTV, they kind of took some of the queer jokes out. It became a little bit more like straight friendly. It is straight friendly. So the older ones, but 1, 2, and 3, as incredible as they are, I mean, that is how it got the start of it. The budget wasn't fully there.
That's like
the
costuming,
it needed to be there. Without it, like
100%.
it would be nothing. But that is not where you're going to get those incredible costumes that are going to blow your mind. The budget's a little bit lower, but 4, 5, 6, and 7 are a great place to start for people just getting into RuPaul's Drag Race.
No, I 100% agree. If I had to pick one season as my favorite, I think it was the last one, actually, that was on Logo, if I'm not mistaken. Season 8. Bob the Drag Queen season.
Drag Queen, great season.
I don't know what it was about that season, but it just felt so like raw and organic, and just there was so much comedy, and I don't know what it was, but there was just so much.
And that was a short season, if I remember right.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is the shortest season of Drag Race.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number of episodes.
10 episodes.
It's one of the
like
shortest
insane.
seasons. Yep, 100%. But interestingly enough, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, season 8 may have been the first time that Miss Astala Vista auditioned for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, was it?
I think it might have been.
I think you might. It was 7 or 8. I
7
can't
or 8?
fully remember. We'll have to look into
We'll have
this.
to look.
But yes, it was right around that time. That was my first time auditioning.
Definitely.
I remember after seeing season 4, I loved Sharon at the time. We talked about that. Season 5, Alaska. Yep. Where was Bianca? Season 6. Trixie was season 7. Mm-hmm. No, then I think you're right. Then I think 8 was the first time I auditioned. But there was just so many queens I was so inspired by. I was ready to do it. I wasn't really ready to do it, but I thought I was ready to get on RuPaul's Drag Race. And yes, season 8 was the first time I sent in an audition tape.
I remember this. So I would love to hear more about your Drag Race experience, maybe some of the times you auditioned. Before we do that, can we get into a little break?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to For the Love of Drag Pod. I'm Jimmy Boone. I'm here with the lovely Astala Vista.
Hello, hello, hello.
Before we went to break, we were getting ready to talk on Astala Vista's experience auditioning for RuPaul's Drag Race, and I think we got to the point where we determined season 8 was your first time auditioning.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about a little bit more about your inspiration for auditioning in the first place, and then some of the experiences auditioning?
So let's talk about it, okay? My dream after watching RuPaul's Drag Race for a couple seasons, there was no other dream in the world than I had than to get on RuPaul. RuPaul's Drag Race. I'll be honest, there was a point in my life where I thought if you did not get on RuPaul's Drag Race, there was no way you were going to be a real successful drag queen. It was absolutely impossible. Like,
I think a lot of people think that.
I think even to this day, I think a lot of drag queens think that. So that was my like tunnel vision. It was, if I was not getting on RuPaul's Drag Race, what am I doing here? So I did start auditioning season 8, which I would say is definitely a little too soon. I was only doing drag for maybe 2 years at that, if that. Like, I mean, I was just dabbling in there, but I wanted to be on television in drag. So my goal was to get on RuPaul's Drag Race, make it happen, and take over the world.
Beyond season 8, were there other seasons of Drag Race that you auditioned for?
Yes. So the first one I auditioned for was season 8. After that, I was gung-ho again. I submit another audition tape for season 9. Did another one for season 10. I believe season 11 was the first one I got like crazy attention on. You're able to like see the like downloads, how many times they downloaded it, how long they watched it. It was like 17 downloads. They watched it for like 3 hours. I was positive I was getting on at that point. And then after that, I did not get on, obviously, and I was a little bit bummed. I was. So I wasn't planning on auditioning again after that. I was like, you know what, this is it. I think I'm kaputs with it. 11's also my lucky number. So I was like, this is it. Like, it's not meant to be. I think I put together like the biggest half-ass audition tape for season 12.
I remember this.
It was like cuts from like other.
I think we like used previous footage.
It was what it was, and I submitted that audition tape, and that was for season 12.
And then here we are today.
So
as of today, would you say that you have interest in the future auditioning for RuPaul's Drag Race? What are your plans? Obviously, things can change over time. What are your plans as of right now?
I do get this question a lot, especially right around audition time when everybody's asking, are you going to audition for RuPaul? I can't wait to see you on this season. I'm going to tell you guys, ever since season 12, I have not auditioned, and I do not intend on auditioning again. I think it is a great platform for up-and-coming queens to get their careers started, really get it going. Or if you are a legend, like Saphira Crystal just did it, I mean, you can also just showcase how incredible you are, slay the game, and do the thing. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to compete based on my drag. I would love to do other shows in drag, like I've done Frogger, we've done Jerry Springer, we've done. I love TV. TV and drag hand in hand, but for me to compete and say that I'm the best drag queen and try to do a show based on that, it's not really for me anymore. I'm going to be honest, and hopefully it doesn't sound too cocky. I'm a great drag queen. I work my ass off. I make my costumes. I make my hair. My performances are great. I have music. I mean, I split. I kick. I'm doing everything to provide an incredible show to people, because that's what it is about for me. I just want to give people a really good drag show. I don't need to like put 5 other queens down and be like, look, I'm better than you and I'm going to get #1. And RuPaul says I'm the best. I don't really care if RuPaul thinks I'm good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I also think, just knowing you and working with you for so long, I think you also enjoy the experience of kind of paving your own path, kind of paving a path for other local people around you. And I don't know if I can say this or not, but I don't think just watching the show RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't believe that RuPaul himself would do the show RuPaul's Drag Race if they were like an up-and-coming queen.
I could fully
agree
with that.
RuPaul was very much a like trendsetter, blazing their own path, and obviously I love the show. It's a great show, but I think there are other ways to be successful.
I look at a RuPaul and I'm like, that is almost what I would, like you're saying, paint your own path. The Coco Perus, the Lady Bunnies, all of those incredible performers that are just like legends in nightlife because they've just been doing the damn thing. They'd have to do RuPaul's Drag Races. That they're just out there doing it for years. That's kind of what I want to be. I want to be like a local legend that she's done a couple TV shows. Sure. She does this, she does that, but like she's just a drag queen doing drag.
Yeah, I love that. And then another thing I don't know that everybody knows about the Drag Race audition process is I think it's relatively the same time every single year. It's like January, December, sometime around there. But there's just like a random Facebook post that just goes up all of a sudden at like 11 a.m. And it's just like auditions for season blah, blah, blah are now open. And basically what that means is the next month to 2 months of your life are just spent putting together this ridiculous, I think it was like 20 minutes long or something like that.
Which doesn't even sound that bad until you break it down of what you need to do. 3 Snatch Game characters,
a dozen runways.
I will say it has changed a lot from when we've last auditioned, so let's not speak like we fully know.
That's true.
Girls have said that it isn't as bad apparently anymore, but I mean there was a time where it was like insane.
You were saying about 20 minutes not being that long of a period of time. I remember it got to the point towards the end of our audition tapes where we had to cut stuff back and you were filming too much content and they only wanted 20 minutes of stuff, so we had to like cut back what we thought were some of our like best moments from that point in time,
which is hilarious to think about because what were we sending that were best moments?
Literally.
I had no looks yet. I didn't know what I was doing.
I know. Funny enough, I do have access to, I believe it's the runway portion of your season 10 audition tape.
Oh, you're going to do me dirty like this?
I think I'm going to do you dirty.
Oh, you're
I think
nasty.
we'll take a quick break, and then when we get back from break, we're going to rewatch your season 10 audition tape runway portion.
Grab the popcorn, motherfuckers.
We'll be right back. And welcome back to For the Love of Drag. My name's Jimmy Boone, and again, I am here with Astala Vista. Before we went to break, I promised that I had a little clip of your season 10 audition tape, the runway portion.
Yes, you did.
And I am ready to torture you.
I am excited. Let me tell you, I remember putting so much work into these tapes, not just the runways, but we were doing like little like acting scenes beforehand, like
Little
intros, little skits into the video to like. We're going to have to put the like full video on Patreon or something just so people could fully see the ridiculousness we got into.
Do a full reaction video.
A full reaction video down the line. All right. Right now, we'll just give them a little runway moment, but I am so here for that.
Alrighty, so here I have your season 10 audition tape, the runway portion. Are you ready to walk down memory lane?
I am as ready as I will ever be.
All right, here we go.
Oh, all right. This first look is a winner, everybody. It's titled Million Dollar Astala. I am wearing a Amazon women's boxer robe with boxing gloves, boxing glove earrings, a black eye that I painted on. I'm gonna be honest with you. If this was season like 3 or 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, this really isn't the worst look. But
No, not at all. Very ready to wear.
But like this is low drag for sure. This is I'm wearing undergarments.
Literally all undergarments and a robe.
Okay, slay.
So we have next.
Oh, she's acting. Oh yeah, she's a tough queen.
Okay,
Oh, wow. Okay, Mrs. Claus. Great look. Very cute. Very Christmassy. Once again, season 3, season 4.
Yep.
I do believe that is like that sexy lingerie company.
Definitely,
like
definitely.
Yandy or something. I forget.
Avenue,
Leg
one of them.
Avenue,
Yep,
one
yep,
of
yep.
them, yeah. So not groundbreaking by any means, but not horrible. I clearly, at this point, I had attention for detail. There was a bow. The nails were cute. There was a concept.
Yep.
All right, this is not as painful as it could be, I'll be honest.
No, not at all. Let's see.
All right, what's this next one? Okay. This is
This
not
dress.
this is not groundbreaking drag. It's a pink outfit, pink dress, asymmetrical sleeve, pink little poofy Marilyn. Nothing wrong with it, but nothing right with it either. It's just there.
I remember this dress became like the hand-me-down dress too through the drag community.
I
You gave this to a
remember,
lot of
okay,
different
this
people.
dress, I gave this dress to somebody.
Yep.
I forget who I gave it to. I really do forget. Then they gave the dress to somebody else.
Yep.
And then I seen it in a photo. And then when it gooped me, that person gave that dress to somebody else. And that dress ended up on a flyer like 4 generations down. Insane.
It is incredible. The dress that keeps on giving. Up next we have.
All right. Oh, we're inside now. Oh, the poodle princess. Okay. I don't know what I was doing with my branding at this point. I was the crazy cat lady of drag, but I was doing a poodle skirt look with poodles everywhere. Although I do believe in another season, didn't I redo this?
You did.
And did a cat version. Okay.
It was blue.
I just called myself out, but then I also fixed it later. So it works out good. So yeah, this was the most generic 1950s poodle girl look ever. Nothing special about it. All from Amazon. I don't think I made any of this myself, I'll be honest with you. It's a fine look, but it's not spectacular. It's not changing drag. Very cute. This would be cute for like a Grease show. Notes,
Teacher kind of look.
Astala Vista for season 8 I had on that paper. 10. Oh my goodness.
I'm done.
All right, this next one, the luckiest lepra cunt, everybody. Oh, she was feeling it. This one's bad, let's be honest with you. This is a Leg Avenue with no sparkle leprechaun suit. The bow doesn't match the hat.
It's like 50 Shades of Green.
It's 50 Shades of Green. There's nothing really good about this one. The hair's even kind of a mess. Like, sure, it's gingery, it's red, but like, I could have done much better. I could have done a full curly little thing. This is not the move. This is the unluckiest leprechaun. Oh my goodness. Molly or Lunette from Big Comfy Couch. Wow. So this look I did make entirely myself. I remember that one. I was so proud of this entire look. I even made, there's a performance of me, I make the clock that's behind her too. I'd be busting it out on the clock.
I used to have to install it in venues. I remember.
You did. Now we have a screen, so we can just put it on the screen. But this look, for what it is not bad. I mean, this look at the end of the day was a pajama set.
Yeah.
I did a replica where I probably should have elevated it and given you a drag version of this, but like was what it was. I mean, very true. Everybody knew I was Lunette. I did have my hairless cat as Molly. I made him a wig. I made him a dress, and then he even performed with me during a couple shows.
Yep.
So I'm going to say, for the time, this was a pretty cool look performance concept. This one was like
100%.
Chef's kiss for the time. Okay, Goldie Cox. It's a gold dress. I believe it was that one company, Coquetry, that did all of those spandex dresses. I have the earrings matching, the jewelry matching. Kind of.
It's like yellow jewelry, gold dress.
Why didn't I just have a gold cocktail, too? I'm holding a cocktail in my hand. Why did I go with a red drink and not a gold cocktail?
I just love the attention to the sip.
You love this. Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, did you see the way she sipped? Put her on right now. She's on the next season. She's the girl. I love the attention to the sip, but no attention to the fact that that thing does not fit me in the slightest.
Not a fitting in sight for that costume.
Not a fitting in sight. That dress, I can make another dress for somebody else.
This is the one.
Oh, this is the one. Okay, this outfit, I felt this outfit. This was a Morgan Wells, which is a drag designer who I think is based out of Philadelphia. She makes some fierce costumes. This was my first Morgan Wells. I thought I was everything. It had fur. It had crazy sleeves. For what this look is, this is not a bad look at all. I have a little laser gun. The earrings are actually Christmas tree ornaments, I remember. But this is a full concept. This is kind of cute.
This is drag.
This is drag. This is pretty good. It's like great bar drag. You know what I mean? This is not like Las Vegas stage drag or anything. But like, if I went to a bar and I seen this queen, I'd be tipping her down. I'd be like, okay, Diva, you better work.
And we're going to clock it. It's the same wig you were wearing in the
It
boxing
is
look.
the same wig. Yes, it is. Oh, this look. Okay, this was my first cat suit. I made this look entirely myself. I was so proud. I thought I reinvented drag. I'm like, a cat suit with cats on it? Oh, mind blown. It's really not bad. It's cute. It's fierce. The earrings have no correlation to anything else in the outfit.
Nice pop of color.
Just a nice pop of color. You know what? I'll say they were supposed to be like cat's eyes.
There you go.
That's exactly what they were supposed to be, everybody. I just remembered it.
And then just a fun shameless plug. This is the one of the looks that you wear in the Pussy Walk music video.
Yes. Oh my God. That is the look I wear when I fall in the dumpster.
At the end.
So if you have not seen the Pussy Walk video, wait till the very end during the bloopers. I'm trying to crawl across the dumpsters to look like a sexy alley cat, and the lid literally just cracks under me. I fall full into the dumpster. The dumpster is empty as well. So what I fall into is not trash bags or anything, just some thick ass sludge at the bottom of the Philadelphia dumpster.
Philly sludge.
Yep, outside of the gay bar too. Gay bar sludge.
Alley sludge.
Yeah. All right, let's see the next look. Oh my goodness. Take it, throw it away, and burn it with fire. The only thing I will say about this look that is good is that I went out and I got a real 1980s boombox.
Do you remember how hard it was to get that?
I think I was on Craigslist or something.
Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. I like met up with some crazy dude named Chad and gave him like $20 to get this, what's it called? Boombox.
Yep.
The costume. You could have this costume today if you want it. Just go to Party City, okay? Every single aspect of this costume is from Party City. It's an I Heart 80s shirt. Was it rhinestoned? Because I think I rhinestoned it.
You did rhinestone.
Okay, I rhinestoned the heart. Thank God I did something. But it's a poofy skirt, the little grid belts, what are those necklaces called? Not bangles.
I'm not sure.
There's a word. Beads. Some I don't really know.
And then the tutu.
The hand warmers. It is just your stereotypical 80s look because it's literally the one you can get from Party City. This is not drag at all. This is a costume.
One or two more, I think.
And then I just did like a rock on at the end. Like,
oh dear. Here we go.
Oh God. Okay. Now this look, for what it was or could have been, I guess I should say, it's actually pretty good drag for the time. So this was my first official like pageant or comedy queen gown. This was my first time trying to step my pussy up, all puns intended. I got this gown made. The gown was not made to the quality I was expecting, and I didn't really have any quality standards at all at the time.
Quality at all,
so that says something. But I had to basically have the collar of this gown sewn into my wig cap to hold it up. All of the toys that were on the bottom, I don't know if you can see them, but if you're watching this on screen, all of those toys I had to re-sew on because when I picked them up, they were still getting sewn on, and I guess they weren't locked properly. They all fell off the first time I wore it.
Just trying it on, and then I remember you had to install, I think, a zipper in the back because you
I had to install a
dress.
zipper because I could not get into the dress. That was a hot mess. If that dress was made properly, like if I remade that now, that's a fierce look right there.
100%.
It is a crazy cat lady gown. I mean, you have the cat around your neck, the tail wrapped around all the way to the bottom, cats coming up me. This is a really cute look. It was just not elevated or executed to the level it should have been.
We might have to look into you remaking that.
I think I may have to remake that. I totally agree.
So I think the concept, I think, deserves its moment in the
And then also, too, like we haven't even talked about this, the hair is a full pageant updo, but in curlers. Like I'm a crazy cat lady.
Yep.
And like this was a very smart look for at the time.
No, 100%.
Oh, all right. And that
was it.
So I will say that was not as painful as I expected or as it could have been. And that was season
10.
8. Oh, 10. Okay. So 8 or 9 might have been a little bit worse. But that was 10. That was not the worst. I mean, some of it is very pedestrian bar drag, but like you've seen, I was really trying.
No, 100%. And just to put it in comparison, you would have been going up against the Aquarias and Yuriko Haras of the world during that season, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So, Aquaria was one of those fashion queens that kind of elevated the fashion in Drag Race, I think. So
if I got on that season, I would have been
money.
a fabulous pork chop. I would have been fierce eliminated first. Oh, yeah, it would have been good. It would have been good. That cat lady, back to the shelter.
Speaking of pork chop, I actually have one more kind of game that I wanted to play with you if you're down.
A game?
So,
let's play.
Over the years, we've obviously been fortunate enough to work with quite a few of the RuPaul's Drag Race girls over the years.
Yes.
So what I wanted to do is I have a list of the majority of the people we've worked with. I wanted to maybe say their name and have you give me what you remember about our interaction with them.
Oh, you're going to ask me to remember stuff right now. I should not have hit the pen before we started this. Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go. Are you ready? All right, we're going to start with the lovely Miss Laganja Estranja.
Laganja Estranja. Okay. We did a show with her, I believe, at Rowan University. First of all, seeing her perform live, whatever you've seen on the show is nothing compared to what she does live. That she is the best performer I've ever seen live. Just literally going up and down the aisle, just dropping into splits. But insanity. But anyway, after the show, I was in the show with her, I remember. Yes. But after the show, we went back to somebody's dorm.
Yep,
it was off campus, not on the campus. Don't sue us. But we went back to, I think, somebody's house or whatever.
Yep.
We got to smoke with her.
Smoke with Laganja.
And we literally just got to smoke with Laganja and just like talk about how she does
Life
what she
and
does.
drag
I remember she was saying she literally stretched for over an hour a day every single day.
And she teaches like dance classes when she goes to the different colleges, and she teaches them to stretch, and it's a whole
which that is actually like part of the reason I stretch every day. I only do 20 minutes. I'm not no Laganja, okay? But like it really makes a difference.
I can imagine.
The only reason I could be jumping into
Y'all
splits and things like that,
like
you need to stretch your body. It's not meant to do that, okay?
It's true athleticism, so you need to.
And then in heels too. Your foot's already bent all weird. But yeah, that is how we met Laganja. Seriously, possibly the best entertainer I've ever seen live.
Definitely. Next, the lovely Miss Monet Exchange.
Monet Exchange. Oh, okay. I think I have two stories for her. So how we met her the first time. We had her at a show.
We did.
We had her at Drag Me to Landmark for the Disney show.
Something like that. Yep.
She did Lion King, right?
Yep. She definitely did. I don't think it was Disney, but I think she
just did Lion King. Okay. We had her foot was like broke or something though.
She hurt herself a couple days
so
before.
she had to switch her number to the Lion King or something like that. That's what it was. And I remember she did Circle of Life and got the entire audience just like singing.
I can't imagine what she would have done otherwise. Like,
no,
what she did was absolutely perfect.
Absolutely incredible. And this was this before she was on Drag Race? Oh, this was before she was on Drag Race.
Maybe a year or two. Yeah.
But then I do remember, I think this was like a year or two ago, she just got a hairless cat named Colleen.
Yep.
And she remembered me, I guess, from being a crazy cat lady or just seeing me online. And she sent me a DM. She's like, hey, I know you have the hairless cat. Where did you get him from? Blah, blah, blah. And she actually got Colleen from the same breeder that I got my hairless cat from.
I remember that.
So, fun story.
So next up, we have the Adore Delano.
Adore Delano. Okay, we met her at a meet and greet. We met her at the season 6 cast party, and she was trying to have a threesome with us.
She did. She invited us back.
She was trying to have a threesome with us. And I think that's the only time we met her.
I think so. Yeah, we went to her concert, but I don't think we actually met her.
We did. Okay, we went to her concert, but yeah, we did not meet her that time. That was just seeing her.
Yep. Next up, Katya.
Katya. Okay, Katya. Did we see the show she was in?
No, it was very brief. Our interaction with Katya.
What?
It was after the show.
Okay, like we didn't get to see her.
No, she was booked in Philadelphia one day at a similar time that you were at another venue.
I was at another show. Okay, and I think I was leaving the other show, and she was getting into her Uber from the, and I was the person that you should never be. Ever. Okay? The drag queen is running from the gig. She's trying to get into her car. She wants to go. She just did a whole day. Katya! Oh my God! Can we take a photo? I stopped Katya, did the whole photo thing. She was such a gem, so sweet. Much sweeter than she should have been, honestly, for a deranged baby drag queen trying to take a photo with her. But I do remember that she was so sweet about it, and yeah, we took a photo.
Yep, I remember that completely. I think she was out of drag too at the time. I think you were like almost the worst.
I don't really remember, and I hope not to remember because I'm not that person anymore.
Next up, I remember this one, Alyssa Edwards.
Alyssa Edwards, yes. Okay, it was the weirdest, briefest meeting ever. I think I was opening for like her show, but like I was like the opening act, so like I don't even think I was supposed to really even meet her or whatever. Yeah, no. But at one point she like walked by my dressing room or walked by me, and she looked at me, she's like, "Girl, what is that lip gloss?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like bubblegum, whatever." I forget what the brand was. She's like, "Can I try it?" And I was like, "Sure." She put it on. She's like, "Yes, God." Gave it back to me. And wait, did she give it back to me?
I don't think she did.
I don't think she
remember
did.
Her keeping it.
I think she like kept it, and then like, and that was it, and that was my, and it was all in like perfect Alyssa Edwardism too. Like everything that I'm saying, take it and then I'll add Alyssa to it. Like tongue pops, fabulousness, fierceness,
just like the way she was
like,
on TV.
It was exactly the interaction you would have wanted with Alyssa Edwards for your first time meeting her. Like, oh, she's Alyssa Edwards. Yep. I could tell because she's just Alyssa Edwards right now. Like I lived.
Next, this is another fun one. Bob the Drag Queen.
Bob the Drag Queen. Whew. Oh, okay. Such a weird one. We were rhinestoning a dress. I think it was for another Ru girl at the time. We were at her house, and Bob the Drag Queen was doing a show in Philadelphia. And I think we were at this person's house till like 12
like
midnight, right? And Bob finished their show, and then I remember we heard a knock at the door, like 12:30. It was just like, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm a new queen. I was a little scared. I was like, they're coming to get me? No, it was Bob the Drag Queen. Bob the Drag Queen showed up. I remember he basically came in, met me, met you. I think there was one other person there, and then we ended up playing charades with him until like 2:30 in the morning. And then we met him again somewhere else. And I remember
DragCon, I think it was.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" We met, blah blah blah. He didn't remember my name. He remembered me. You were the one that was really bad at charades, right? And I was like, yes, that was me.
You were very bad.
I was very bad.
I don't think you like knew one of the
I was also so nervous. I'm already at like one Ru girl's house just starting drag, helping her rhinestone a dress. Then Bob the Drag Queen's here. I'm like, there's no charade. I'm just frozen. That's my charade right now, okay? Like, it was a lot.
Okay, next up, Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel. Okay, so the first time we met her, I think we were having her at a show, right?
Yes, it was.
A show in Philadelphia.
One of your casted shows.
I think I actually I was doing that Lunette number with Molly.
Yes,
with my hairless cat.
100%. Yep.
Okay, so our first meeting, like she comes in, meets everybody, blah blah blah. I remember she realized she forgot her pads. She forgot her pads, and she was asking, she's like, "Is there anybody that like I can borrow their pads?" Like she looked my way, I turned the other way. I was like, absolutely not. I was a newer queen at the time. I would have been damned if I was going out there without pads. So
that wasn't you.
I reluctantly did not give up my pads. Trixie, I think, went out there with any pads, but made it work. She corseted real tight. Yep. And I think, that was the first time we met.
And I remember one other thing. Back then, your makeup was a little more Trixie inspired, where you had the triangle.
Isosceles triangle eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember you walked in the dressing room. I think she was already there, and she said like, "We could be sisters" or something to that.
Did she?
Yep,
LOL.
After that, this is an exciting one. Pork chop. Do you remember your pork chop?
Pork chop. Yes. I met her probably like my third or fourth drag show, right? Very early on. I was performing at a bar. I don't think it's any longer there. Venture Inn.
It's now Bar X in Philadelphia.
Okay. I basically was just in a show with her, and it was really cool. Like it was one of my first shows. I got to meet Pork Chop.
I think that might have been the first working with a Ru girl experience.
I think it was. I think it absolutely was.
After that, Raja.
I think we paid to meet her. We went to a show at
There's
Voyeur.
A couple experiences.
We went to a show at Voyeur. We paid for a meet and greet. We got to meet her. I was wearing my little cat, not
romper?
Romper. It was like giant pant romper thing. And she was just so cool.
She was great.
And then we just recently did another show with her, 2 weeks ago, a college show with her.
Speaking of college shows, Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Silky Nutmeg Ganache was one. We met at a college show.
Yep.
And then I think I was doing a show in Pensacola, Florida.
Yep.
And we went out after to another gay bar.
Yep.
And then she just happened to be there. And I was like, oh, hey, like we just did a college together a little bit ago. Smoked a little something outside.
We ended up
Caught
hanging out a
up.
little bit.
And,
Yep.
Yeah,
It's good
fun
time.
stuff.
After Silky, how about Aja?
Aja was the first Rue girl I think we ever booked.
That we
right?
ever booked, yep.
We had her in Dunellen, New Jersey, which is some small little town in New Jersey.
It's right by where Michelle Visage is from.
I don't think there's ever been a Rue girl there since, or it will ever be again. I mean, this is such a teeny little town out in the middle of New Jersey. But yeah, we brought her out there right after her season of Rue finished filming. It was before it aired, right?
No, so when we announced the flyer for that show, she was just Aja, and then like a week or two before the show, we got to change her to RuPaul's Drag Race Aja.
Gotcha. Okay, and that is when she performed "Greedy" by Ariana Grande.
Yes, because that was the song.
And she was like being like funny and shady about it, and then we didn't know why, and it was because that was the song that she beat Valentina to,
when
right?
She had the mask on.
When she had the mask on. Okay, yeah, funny stuff. And didn't we go out to like the diner with her and Candy Muse?
Oh, that was okay. You did a show in New York once, and Aja was in that show, and that was the one that starts at 2:30 in the morning.
So, did we have Aja before that?
Yes. So the first time we met Aja was at the Dunellen show, and then you were booked at a show at one of the New York bars shortly thereafter, the one that starts at 2:30 a.m. I forget where it was.
Ritz. Madeline had her show.
Yep. And then after that, we all went out to the diner. That's when we stayed until like 8 a.m. Candy Muse was there. I think the other members of the House of Muse were there.
Yes, that was the only time I think I actually met Candy Muse, and she was the exact same person. She is. She was just loud,
another one.
Proud.
She just is who she is, 100%. This is around the same time frame. Kimora Black.
Kimora Black, we had her at Landmark. That was the first girl we had at Landmark. I was just obsessed with her, and I wanted to have her really bad. I just thought she was so damn gorgeous. I was just like, that is the epitome of Barbie doll woman, drag queen. She had the breastplate. I was like, yep, we need her. And that was before like a lot of drag queens had breastplates. She was like one of the first ones. Yeah, she was like that Vegas like sex symbol. How does it work? Like, what are these made of?
Up next, Sasha Velour.
Sasha Velour. We do a lot of college shows with these girls, I'm realizing. Same thing. We got to see, though, her nightgown show she was doing. Or not nightgowns, like the one where she does the screen behind her. She was doing it at the college, and just mind-blowing. You're just like, get out of town, you talented biatch.
I remember she also did some kind of, it was like a Wicked Witch or something from Wizard of Oz, and it was just equally as incredible.
It took drag, and then it just brought it to another level. Like, what Sasha Velour does is drag elevated to a whole nother ballgame.
Like theater drag.
And then she was also so nice too. I remember we hung out after for a little bit. The whole
sweet. Yep, 100%.
So damn talented.
This is one that's now deemed a little more problematic. Miss Sharon Needles.
Ooh.
Do you remember the interaction with Sharon Needles?
When we met her in Pensacola, Florida.
Yep.
Yes, she was at a bar and she was like saying some like suicidal thing to some kid.
Yeah, she basically told one of the like patrons at the bar, who I also think was like a baby drag queen performing there, or just somebody that was there frequently.
Oh, just kill
yourself. Just go kill yourself or something.
And I don't remember. Like you got into a little like mini altercation with her.
Yeah,
nothing like physical, but
that irked my soul. And I was like, "Did you really just say that to him?" And she was like, "Yeah, I was just joking." And I was like, "I just don't think it's appropriate that somebody of your stature, is saying kill yourself to this kid that you've never fucking met before." And then it ended up going back and forth, and she was ultimately looking for cocaine, if I remember correctly.
She did ask us for cocaine.
She did ask us for cocaine. And then shortly after that, or maybe it was even before that, I remember her trying to walk up the staircase to the dressing room.
And that was performers only. She wasn't booked
there at all. Nobody knew who she was.
All, yeah.
I mean, besides people knew Sharon Needles, but she was not booked there and had no right to be there.
That was a unique interaction.
Yeah,
and then she got kicked out of that bar, though.
Yep. And then I remember thinking like, oh, okay, so sometimes what they say about you online might be true. Oops. All right, and I think I have one more. This one, I'm just going to warn here, a little trigger warning: sexual assault, sexual predator.
I don't even think you need to read it. I think I already know.
We're going to go there. Miss Sherry Pie.
Oh, dun.
I feel like we have to talk about her. She's somebody that we worked with quite often.
Yes.
Her drag race experience.
I remember when everything got announced with Sherry on TV. I remember she was on our
website.
We
should back up just a little bit. Explain to anybody that doesn't know the situation.
Okay, so basically, Sherry was a contestant on season 11. She was also somebody. Sherry was a contestant on season 12. She was also somebody that we used to work with a lot. She was based in New York City. We're right outside of New York City in New Jersey. We would have her at least once a month.
Yep.
At least once a month for a while.
I would drive to New York, pick her up, drive her down here. It's like a 2-hour commute.
She was a great entertainer. Like, there's no
100%.
denying that.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically season 12, some allegations that turned out to be very, very true came out about her. I don't even know how to, not sexually assault. It's such a, like, a deep thing. I feel like you need to almost look the story up.
Yeah, so basically she was representing herself as like a talent agent for somebody that was like casting different movies and productions of things that were going to make people famous. She basically ended up lying to different people and got to the point where she was offering people steroids to help them bulk up, paying for them to take steroids. And these roles never really existed in the first place. They were never going to be happening, and these people were just manipulated. I believe some of them sent like nude photos and things like that.
It was just like
it was
the
like
amount of layers. It's not like you like sent one message. It like literally, it's like it was very, 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 very.
And then I know you and I were always like, oh my God, she's always on her phone and she's with us. She's just such a busy New York drag queen. She's just always planning her shows and coordinating this. And then coming to find out years later, most likely what she was doing on her phone was all of this behind the scenes coordinating of these people she was trying to get whatever out of. But yeah, I don't remember exactly when everything came out publicly about her, but she had a profile on our website.
Yep.
And
we would have all the queens that we worked with. We had like a little profile with what they do, their skills, photos of them, blah, 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 blah. And she was obviously one of the ones we had on our website. And I remember that day, it was like somebody maybe gets like 40 to 50 hits a day. Sherry Pies was
like
going
10,000.
10,000 hits within the hour. And I think that started happening before we even knew what was really going down. I don't remember how it happened.
No, I think like Thursday night, the first like allegation came out. And everybody was just trying to like figure out exactly what
nobody like happened. It was like one status came out.
Yeah, the one status, and I think maybe even Sherry made the status replying to it or something to that effect. And then I think the following day, I think is when her episode of Drag Race aired, or maybe it was the following week. And then that's when all of the other stories started to come out, and that's when all of the traction really started to play. I remember you and I had a Sherry Pie viewing party before we knew any of this planned, because it was a 2-part premiere episode of Drag Race. They did one.
We had a full themed cherry pie viewing party where every single thing was cherry themed, right? Like,
and then I think it was like 2 days before we learned everything about it, and the whole party changed.
That was insane.
Yep. And it was during the party. I remember I went upstairs because our office was upstairs at your dad's house at that point in time. I went upstairs, and that's when I took her off the website while we were in the middle of the party, because we were like, oh my God.
So yeah, we basically worked with her at least once a month. Like I said, I can't deny that she was a very, very, very talented artist, and that is why we did have her as much as we did. But the second that everything went down, and once we seen what was going on, we pretty much immediately cut all ties.
We have a zero tolerance policy for any of that kind of nonsense.
I mean, briefly to bring up, part of the reason that we also started producing our own events is there was an event producer in Philadelphia that actually molested Jimmy when we first started. And that was just an eye-opener to how people with power in this scene can be. And Sherry Pie was definitely one of those people with power that she abused it. She fully abused it.
And she wasn't even on Drag Race yet, so had that stuff not come out, imagine what could have possibly happened with even more power.
Here we were booking her thinking like, oh my God, she's this New York queen who's really trying to like do the damn thing. Let's give her opportunities to make this money, to get these costumes because she's slaying so hard. Meanwhile, she's like paying for somebody's steroid.
And her mom was apparently paying for her New York City rent the entire time.
Yeah. And then honestly too, I'm all for second chances and this and that. So like I sat there and looked at the apology video. Didn't she do something like Tamar or whatever?
There was a couple different things,
It was just so garbage. It was just like, no, this is who you are.
There was no genuineness about it. There was no like, I really fucked up. It was more like, well, I worked on myself and I did this and I did that, but there was no like, she didn't do anything.
No, yeah.
Well, not to end on that note, but I think that's where we're going to start wrapping things up for today. RuPaul's Drag Race is without a doubt a phenomenon. We are on, I think I said season 16. Season 17's already aired.
We have
10 million countries.
Make people's careers. We have watched RuPaul's Drag Race ruin people's careers. I mean, let's be real. The entertainment industry, it is a lot. It will chew you up, spit you out, and chuck pua right on you, okay? Like, she's no joke.
Not the Haktua.
Girl, it does, though. I see it. And let's be real. The fandom's a little crazy. It'll make some girls suicidal. They'll tell you that your mom needs to die. Like, it's insane. That's not a joke. They go that far.
Next up, I am very excited for our next week episode. We have our first in-studio interview with the one and only Miss Sarah, who is basically our Drag Queen Entertainment event manager. She plans all of our events, sounds out all of our invoices, contracts, works with all of our clients, gets everything organized and set up for us. So we are very excited to talk more with her, get her story and what she does with Drag Queen Entertainment.
I don't think they're ready for how much goes in behind the scenes.
I don't think they know
Sarah
at all.
is Drag Queen Entertainment, okay? Behind the scenes, like granted, I've got to look fabulous and that takes a lot of work. But the work that goes into talking to the new venues, explaining drag, coordinating parties, sending contracts, she does not stop. She is literally the RuPaul behind Drag Queen Entertainment, okay?
No, 100%, 100%. So we are very, very excited to talk with her. She'll be, like I said, live with us right here in the studio.
I
We have
cannot
a
wait.
great interview planned with her. But until next week, that's where we are.
Yes, so I'm very, very excited to bring Miss Sarah on next week. But
Yes.
until then, I guess we could tell them where they can find us. Which, if you are on Instagram or TikTok, you can follow us at fortheloveofdrag.pod. If you'd like to follow me, you can give me a follow at It's Astala Vista, ITSASTALA Vista. Or if you want to follow Drag Queen Entertainment, give us a follow at Drag Queen Entertainment on TikTok and Instagram.
Feel free to follow me as well at Jimmy Boone on Instagram. And we're also very, very excited to be announcing our brand new Patreon channel called DragFam. If you're interested in full video episodes of our podcast, exclusive content, and even more, feel free to head to dragqueenentertainment.com/dragfam for membership options and more information.
Or if you're looking for a cherry icy, you can head to Wawa and get one for 99 cents. But until next time, head to dragqueenentertainment.com/dragfam for some more behind the scenes footage. And until next time, hasta la vista for now.